thank you for this opportunity, first of all, organizer. This has been an amazing 2 days for me here. First time in Pakistan ever. I live in Dubai. I have lived in Dubai 17 years. I'm originally from Finland. So this topic, VASP, first of all, is quite new word to all of us. It was like putting in the markets 2 years ago. VASP means Virtual Asset Service Provider. What are these virtual assets? Most well-known virtual asset and the biggest in the markets is called cryptocurrencies. But there are also other virtual assets that are now growing big time today. They can be NFTs, which are these digital assets that all the units are individual, so they are also digital assets. And the biggest that is coming big time this year are called real world assets, RWAs. So a little bit more about these all later on. So, do I have a clicker somewhere? Okay. Who am I? So, I've been online since 1994, and some of you were not even born that year yet. I started my first company that year, the same year that the first commercial browser was launched. And the commercial browser, who actually remembers what was the name of the first commercial internet browser? Netscape. Netflix? Netscape, yes, you're right. Beautiful N on the right corner on your browser, yes, Netscape. So we started the online business at that time, so I've been online. I can call myself like OG, like original gangster in that sense on online business. Last 7 years I've been full-time on blockchain and crypto. So I came across with the document which is called Ethereum white paper. And the idea of that you can cut out all the middlemen in all the transactions online. And again, that means that this is permissionless environment. You can join this ecosystem without asking any permission. Trustless, permissionless, and borderless. These kind of things are available for all of us who want to join this phenomenon called cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and Web3. I need to check the clock again. Yeah, so crypto markets, and cryptos they are living in cycles, and the cycles come mainly from the starting the foundation of this all, which is Bitcoin. January 3rd, 2009 first Bitcoin was mined. And that started the first 4-year cycle. And the cycles means that after every 4 years, the production of the Bitcoin will be cut in half. So the next cycle will end, this cycle will end in April and the next will start. So this is one of the criteria why we believe that this is very good year for this asset class overall. Not just Bitcoin, but every other cryptocurrencies and virtual assets overall. Next one. Yeah, sorry, okay. So the growth is there. And if you think that the markets were 2021, $2.2 trillion dollars, and it grew quite much on this particular year, certain reasons. The COVID was there, and people money was available for everybody. That's why they also invested a lot on cryptocurrencies. But then everything crashed. And this 22, 23 were very challenging years for us. But last year happened something very remarkable, which we are experiencing now. Biggest asset manager in the world. What's the name of the biggest asset management company in the world? BlackRock. You guys know everything. BlackRock, yes, announced, their CEO Larry Fink announced last year, approximately a year ago, that next markets will be tokenized. And if you're talking about tokenized markets, you need to have the underlying technology on the tokenized markets is blockchain. And virtual assets run on blockchain. So it's not necessarily talking about just the cryptocurrencies, but he's talking about the ecosystem, the foundation of this all. That's why it's important to understand that when BlackRock is supporting this so much, big money comes in, and then the world will follow. As they say, when Big Larry speaks, the world will follow. So that's happening now there. And specifically one thing that was launched and approved in USA in January this year, a few weeks back. It's called Bitcoin ETF. ETF is an investment product which is the most used investment product in the world. ETF, these three letters, they come from words exchange traded fund. And now when this has been approved in the USA, big money comes to the scene. In 2 days, just in BlackRock's ETF product, they managed to get $2 billion of investments. $2 billion in 2 days. So big money is coming in, everything else will follow. And now this happened in January, and again I mentioned you again that the Bitcoin halving will happen in April. So these two big triggers make this market so interesting this year. So can I ask one thing, if you don't mind? How many of you guys own cryptos or have traded cryptos, have dealt with cryptos? Would you raise your hand? All right, good number of people. Congratulations. Then, if you don't mind, why don't you, every one of you, why don't you raise your hand? Everyone, please raise your hand. Raise your hand. Thank you, everybody. You're not that tired. Please keep your hand up a little bit more. Then look around you. Look around you. Now you see that all these people will own cryptos one day. So crypto is there for us. It's money, it's a future money, it's our money. And why it's important? Let me give you another example. I mentioned that it's a permissionless network. And to me, I give this example quite often now when, for example, BlackRock is coming big time to this scene. BlackRock will, based on its tokenized platform on blockchain, which is decentralized blockchain. And if you want to establish business on decentralized blockchain, you need to have their tokens, because tokens are data on the network, and they give you the security, and they validate the transactions. It's a little bit technical thing, but if you think it this way, that if you are guided enough to give this data, your token, your coin, to the network, it rewards you. It pays you yield. It gives you reward. And that is most beautiful thing in this system. You don't need to ask permission. It's permissionless network. Think of this. You, me, or anybody else in this room or anywhere else, if you want BlackRock to pay you, you can deposit your crypto on a BlackRock protocol, which most probably will be Ethereum. And every transaction happens on this network. When BlackRock transaction happens, it pays you. So Larry Fink, the biggest guy in the financial markets, and its company, BlackRock, is paying you. And you don't need to ask any permission to join these networks. That is a huge opportunity for us to understand. So, and again, when these things are now put together, I believe that there's a good chance now that before the end of the year, we will have 1 billion users on this ecosystem. 1 billion people are dealing with cryptos, owning the cryptos, trading them, and getting advantage of these platforms to pay you yield. It's a big amount of people already, big number of people. But if you think that 2.2 trillion was the peak of the last bull run, as we call it, and now 6.6 trillion, maybe 7 trillion, how much the market will grow? There are some cryptos, and this is not a finance advice, but some cryptos can make 100x, 100 times more value for your investment on this bull market. But please be careful. This is not finance advice. What you need to do, you need to research, you need to do your due diligence and understand the risks also. But opportunities are there. If the markets will grow 5 times, 10 times bigger, there are some small coins that can do 100x or even more. And the safest ones, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, the biggest ones, they can easily do 5 times or 10 times more value for your investment. I'm not an investor, I'm not a trader, I'm here because of the technology. I'm here because the good it does for the whole humanity and whole entire ecosystem and entire society. Next slide, please. Yes, if there are big opportunities, also big risks. It's an investment strategy overall. Again, I'm not an investor, but that I've learned that if there's a big opportunity, there's a big upside, there's also a huge downside. But how you can manage in this kind of environment? The subject of this event is about VASPs, virtual asset service providers. Most of the people that will join this ecosystem now, they will use these VASP services. But how can you make sure that your VASP is good? It's licensed, it's regulated, and the technology is good there. There are mechanisms to check it, but the risks are there. For example, next slide, please. You see, quite big number was vanished or in hands of the criminals in 21. $26 billion. Lost your money, people money who actually invested. And that was a big problem at the moment. Still exists there. But now the good thing is that at the moment, there are technologies that can help VASPs, virtual asset service providers. And also everybody who has decided or will join this ecosystem, these platforms, putting up their businesses on them, using cryptocurrencies on transactions. This message is for everybody. You can make sure, using some technologies, that your transactions, your coins, your wallets are safe. But that's not everything. There's combination of, next slide please. There's combination of technology development and also regulators and regulations coming into the picture. Early days of internet, when I was there, we had the same problems. People are talking about the internet to be for terrorist money and the blackmails and all these kind of things. Same thing what we hear today. But then we started to collaborate with regulators, and internet was regulated. And this is happening now. These two examples, what I have there on my slides, ADGM from Abu Dhabi Global Markets and VARA from Dubai, Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, these are regulators. And in Dubai, where I'm from, where I work at, we are collaborating with them. We want them to understand, we don't want them to tell us what they want from us to regulate the platforms, and we are progressing fast. Just in a couple of months' time, more than 20 new licenses were approved in UAE, in Abu Dhabi, and Dubai. So that's happening there. And there are certain mechanisms that are global. So you need to have certain things on your platform. If you're a VASP, virtual asset service provider, or your fund, or your trust want to deal these assets, you need to understand what regulators want. And you, as an investor or trader on the platform, if you deposit your money and trade on your money, with your money on unregulated platforms, there's a huge risk. Don't do that, my suggestion. Make sure that the platform that you deposit your cryptos and transact there, it is licensed and regulated. And that's, again, developing fast at the moment. Next slide, please. So if you are thinking of transacting on blockchain platform using cryptocurrencies, validating the transactions, and giving the security on the platform, even it's a different business than VASP business. It can be any business. It can be healthcare, it can be supply chain, it can be anything. But it's your platform and you are using these currencies. You need to make sure that this platform and the asset that you're using there is licensed and regulated. So that's one thing. And how you do that, you need to have certain technology on the platform. And the next slide explains you the problems and challenges that there still is. Please, next slide. So, these are the things that the VASP needs to take care of. KYC, know your customer, AML, anti-money laundering things, and the fraudulent wallets and fraudulent transactions and so forth. I mentioned this already. Please, next slide. Yeah, so quite recently there was a huge scam on crypto markets. $12 billion. $12 billion Ponzi scheme. You know what the Ponzi is. A few decades ago, and about 50, 60 years ago in the US, there was this gentleman named Ponzi who built the pyramid, which is built, the valuation increasing was built on hot air. There's nothing really value growing, but he was using people's money, and then it collapsed in the end. Cryptos has been used on the same mechanism, and that just was revealed in India. And how this was revealed? It was a combination of using the authorities' information and using the most advanced technology on-chain. These transactions happen on-chain, on blockchain. And there are some applications that can take care of the technology side of it and then collaborate with the regulators and authorities that can be solved. And there's now introduction how it's done. Please. Please play the video now.
Clusters details, and overall risk score. The graph allows us to overview the scale of activities of the entire pyramid. We revealed that stolen funds were transferred to the CryptoLocker service wallets. Thus, we determined the location of the stolen funds and the addresses to which the fraudsters had transferred almost $1 billion.
So the total value of the Ponzi scheme was $12 billion. $12 billion. And with this checking of this transaction chain, one application that we're using, we sorted out $1 billion worth of scam. And we sorted out everything. So now, again, if you are a service provider on this digital asset class, make sure that you use this kind of technology to secure. And what happens if you start to use it early enough, you can identify the risks before. These kind of platforms, they give you the risk percentage. And you can decide, do you want to check it more closely about these wallets and transactions? That's there in the markets. That's what I'm using as an advisor in quite many projects. If you are an investor, trader in cryptocurrency, make sure that the platform that you're functioning and working with and at has this kind of technology. So summarizing, future is blockchain, future is decentralized world, and not in fully decentralized because we need to collaborate with the authorities and regulators, but you can position yourself in role that you can earn money, you can earn value, you can join the decision making without asking any permission. You don't need to have a company, you don't need to have boss, nothing. You can, as I do, when BlackRock will launch their protocol platform, $10 trillion asset manager will launch their platform. They pay me because I want to position my coins on their platform, which most probably will be Ethereum. Okay. Thank you so much. That's all of me. Thank you.